Thank you guys so much for coming. Excited to show you what we have in store here. Maybe as more people trickle in, what I'll do is I'll just kind of give a brief overview of what Springboard VR is, even though I'm sure most of you know what it is. Won't hurt to do just a quick refresher. And then so how this is really going to work is I'm going to go through the feature set, how it works, how you'd integrate it, just in sort of one fell swoop. And then at the end, feel free to ask as many questions as you want. And then Devin here is presenting with me as well. She'll stop me if I say anything that is incorrect. She has been working closest with our developers as they build this out, and as well as a few arcades to make sure we're doing this the way that it needs to be done. I'll also go ahead and say that the booking system as it is a phase 1 implementation. There's going to be a lot more to come, in later phases as we continue to build onto this feature. There's a lot that we can do now that we have the foundation of this booking system complete. And we think it's in a really good spot for it being phase 1. So again, we can go over everything through on this, and then be very happy to answer any questions that you guys have towards the end. Yep, in the Q&A section. So anyway, just a quick 3-minute overview of what Springboard VR is. Really, in a nutshell, when you boil it down, we make the customer experience self-manageable. They can go in and out of games, watch video previews of games. As arcade owners, you can manage content, stations, adding time to headsets and those sorts of things. Really, the 3 main pillars of our business is the arcade management. The second is this booking feature. And then third is going to be the commercial licensing, which is coming down the pipeline for sure. But we won't talk about that during this webcast. That'll be saved for another one. So, that is Springboard VR. We're used in over 100 VR arcades right now. It's just fun to see the market grow. All over the world. When we very first started, we could find maybe 75 VR arcades around January, February, and now there's 400 or 500 that we're seeing. This is, of course, outside of China, Japan, Korea. It's just crazy. They're popping up all over the place. 20,000, city population, and then there's starting to be multiple in certain cities, and so it's fun as this industry grows. It's just really fun to be a part of it with you guys and grow together. So, the booking feature. That's why you guys are here. Our developers have worked tirelessly to put this all together. Like I said, this is phase 1. And it's currently being used by a small handful of arcades in a closed beta. And at the end of this webcast is when we will say, hey, if you want to be a part of the closed beta, please contact us. And we'll show you how to do that at the end of this. So let's go ahead and get into it. So just quickly, it is a free feature. It comes with Springboard. Super easy to set up. You can add it to your Facebook page, your website. So let me just go ahead and get into it here. Give me 2 seconds. Devin, do you want to just briefly talk about the booking feature while I get this set up? And give your perspective from the developer side.
It would help if I unmuted myself. Yes, so welcome. Yes, so we have been working on the booking system for some time. I think some expectations for this being the first phase. We do integrate with Square today. We do plan on doing other integrations, Stripe being probably our next integration. And I think the thing that I would like you guys to take away from this webcast is we really tried to build this, obviously, from the arcade perspective. So what we've heard from quite a few arcades is that they're using maybe a third-party online feature on the website today, and really it's confusing for their consumers because it's not tailored around stations and the maximum amount of people per station. So when they are coming online, there's a little bit of confusion. And I will say this, knowing that we can capture the data around that consumer from when they make the reservation today to actually what they've played in the headset, and also being able to easily extend that time, is some of the major kind of functionality that we have put into planning here. So really the connection from what you guys use Springboard today now lets you kind of bring that consumer level in and be able to like streamline that process.
Yeah, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to show you the 3 different perspectives that really matter: the customer's perspective of the booking feature, owner's perspective, and then the employee's perspective. So first, let's dive into the customer perspective. And so this is what your booking widget will look like on your website. You can customize the colors and the text and whatever, but it'll just be a little thing at the bottom right-hand corner of your website. Super, super easy to integrate. And when we go ahead and click this, it'll just bring up this little deal, and you can select how many people in your party, the number of headsets that you're wanting to book, obviously. But if we have 7 people, well, then we can book a lot more. So if you notice, it'll let you book minimum of 2 here, and I'll show you why in that settings in the settings here in just a little bit. But obviously the length of the booking with how much it actually costs, and then the date and time. And so we can pay with card because SpringboardVR, they have Square integration. If you don't currently have Square, accept in-store payments, but like Devin said, we are looking to enter into more point-of-sale systems very shortly. Second thing is your own unique web page. So we give you a unique URL that you can put a link on your Facebook page, or you can create another button in your tab section on your website that will link to a booking page. And again, just kind of the exact same setup. So that's kind of what it will look like for your customer. Let's go ahead and dive into, well, before I dive into the owner's perspective, Devin, did I cover everything there on the arcade customer side of things?
Yes, I think one thing, I don't know if you have the confirmation email pulled up or not, but I think from that perspective, just knowing as he was using the widget, the booking setup that you see on the screen right now is how you would customize that widget based on your variables and how your business model is working at your arcade today.
Right. Yeah, so let me pull that up here real quick. So this is when a customer does confirm the booking, they'll get an email with just this information, their start time, how many people, if they paid or not, and then ability to cancel the booking, which will show you kind of what that means or how that works here in just a second. So now here from the owner's perspective, there's going to be a new tab in your admin panel, booking and setup. There's really 5 main tabs to it. 1, just your org details. You'll obviously want to make sure you get that time zone correct so your customers are booking in the right time zone. And setup. So this is really important. So you can set how many people you want max per station. So when they are going through this booking process, if you say, hey, I got 5 people, well, the minimum you can do is 2, because we have this set as max people per station equal to 4. So you can change that however you want. Cushion time between booking. So this is basically how much time do you want to allow your employees to like have to clean up the station or whatever before that station can be booked again. So totally customizable however you want to do that. Booking increment, this is just simply what the customer sees, when they're looking at time. So we have an increment of 15 minutes, so 15, 30, 45, et cetera, et cetera. Your refund policy, you can customize this text, but what it'll do here is this cancellation time is really what's important. So this is how many hours that you want to allow your customers to be able to cancel while still receiving a refund. And anyway, that's how when they're here and they want to cancel booking, if it's within 24 hours, or if it's within however many hours you set here, that will determine if they get a refund or not. Obviously your hours of operation, and then here you can set, let's say one of your stations goes down, or a TV is broken, or controller is broke, or whatever. You can just quickly come in here and say, hey, station 4 is down. Don't allow this station to be booked. And so that will update dynamically and automatically for those scenarios. Let's go ahead and go to price management. Pretty obvious stuff here. The only thing you need to know about, not so obvious, is the setup time. And this is kind of like the cushion time, but this is more, let's say a customer comes in and they buy an hour of time. Okay, well, setup time is 5 minutes. So what that means is when you start the timer for that booking, which I'll show you here on the monitor stations page, it looks different now. It's actually going to add an hour and 5 minutes to that customer's time. So that's what that is. You can customize that however you want right here when you're adding new pricing options. Payment method, like we said, it integrates into Square right now, or you can accept in-store payments, or you can do both. It's up to you. And we will be integrating into more point-of-sale systems very, very soon. Widget settings. So this is, you can change the color of it or whatever, the text. You can also do a mini mode, which means it's just no text at all. It's just like a small little icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the web page. And we can click Setup Embed here to get the code for your developer to just copy and paste in there. And if you didn't get the colors perfect, that's okay. They can edit that in here. So your web developer should know how to do that really, really easily. Anyway, so that is the arcade owner's perspective. Devin, did I go ahead and cover everything there?
Yes, I think so. Did you show where the share link?
Yeah. So the share link, that's just where you get the unique web page. So that'll just be right there. Okay. So now let's go to the employee's perspective. And this is where there is the most change and the most amount of possibilities. So here's the new monitor stations page. As you can tell, you can no longer just add time to a station like you could in the old one. We have to create new bookings, which is crucially important because this way we're capturing the individual customer's information. So you guys will be able to do a lot of fun stuff with that as we release new phases of this booking system in the future. But it also will allow us to do things where you can see how much money each one of your stations is making on average per day, and utilization rates and all sorts of stuff like that as we create bookings. If you're a cash only arcade, this is how you'll be able to very easily track, are my employees smuggling my money, or are they actually going ahead and putting that cash in the cash drawer? So there's really valuable thing right there. So if I go ahead and do create a new booking, it's pretty much the employee doing this, but they see the exact same thing a customer would if they were booking advance online. This is for like walk-in customers. So you can just set whatever, all of this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and auto select a station. And then we have option pay in store because it's a walk-in customer. So maybe they only have cash. So we'll go ahead and click that. Type in their quick details here. It does save this information now. So if it's a repeat customer, just type in the first few letters, and there it is. Do you want to send this customer receipt in an email? And continue. Okay, so it says, please charge the customer $16.26. And now we can check this customer in. So let's go ahead and check them in. Are you sure? Please charge a customer $16.26 before proceeding. So this just make sure that the employee is collecting that payment. Confirm we got it from them. And now let's start the time. And so you see here, the customer only bought 15 minutes, but they got a few extra minutes because of that setup time that I was talking to you about on the owners deal here in price management setup time. Where were we? And so let's talk about extension. If we need to extend their time, we have a few cool options. We can do a charged extend. Obvious. If they want 30 more minutes, go ahead and extend their time and charge them, or complimentary extend. So let's say they had a bad experience or whatever the case may be. You want to give them a few extra minutes for free, no problem. But where this charge extend really comes in handy is when you do have that point of sale integration. It will go ahead and automatically charge the card on file, and there's no need to do any hand exchange or anything like that. It'll just be automatically done. So anyway, we won't do that right now. Go ahead and close that. And then we also are going to have a calendar tab so we can see these bookings when they're coming in, and do all sorts of fun stuff there. So let your employees know who's coming in, what stations are available, what stations are free, and just gives them a high level view of what to expect for that day. Or let's say you want to look a few days down the road and you have all of these bookings Tuesday, August the 15th. You're like, okay, what the heck? I only got one person scheduled for that day. I need to go ahead and call someone and to assist and get a couple people in. So lots of options there for you and your employees to make better decisions as they're managing the arcade. I feel like I'm missing something, Devin.
So you can show them how they can edit or cancel. So this is where they could make maybe an edit. Say, for instance, they were in station 1 for a period of time, the headset was acting up, and you need to move them over to another station quickly. So you can do that very quickly there. Obviously, right now we don't have multiple, but when someone would be coming in, say there's 3 people and they want to be in 3 different stations, when you do hit start, they all will be hitting, will start at the same time just to keep that consistent. And one thing, when Jordan was actually toggling off a station in the admin panel, what our system does is we basically look to see, can we place any of these reservations into another station before that station goes 100% gone. So that is some logic that we've put in there. If you do toggle one off, we do try to relocate those reservations into other stations.
Yep. So yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just remember one thing. Can you go back to the calendar? So a lot of logic was put into place here. Say you have someone that actually bought some like a 15-minute reservation, and they actually wanted to extend. And what we will do is, if they do extend and someone is reserved right behind them, we will look to see, can we put that next reservation into another available station so they can continue to extend. So there's been a lot of logic written where we're trying to give you the best utilization of your space and the requirements that you have set in the configuration panel. So that is what we've been working really hard on.
Yeah. So that pretty much concludes the overview. Happy to answer any questions that you guys have about how this will work. or if there was something that was confusing as we were explaining different feature sets of the booking system, feel free to go ahead and head over to the Q&A, which it looks like we already have some questions in here. And I will go ahead and start from the top and answer some of these questions. So Charles, we currently have different stations with different room sizes, standing only and room scale, etc., due to our store layout. Is there a way to add these options into the booking system? So I guess is what you're saying, Charles, is that the standing room only stations are cheaper than the room scale stations? Is that okay? So right now, no, but yes, we have been planning for that, and that will be an option for you in as we continue to build out this feature. But yes, that's definitely something that we are going to be addressing, because that's been a fairly commonly requested feature.
So that kind of comes into play for discounts, just so for expectations. Currently, right now, we do not handle any discounts or even group discounts. So in phase one, our current system does not allocate or provide the ability for discounts. It is on the product roadmap, and we know that is something that we are working on.
Yes. Because that's obviously super important. I mean, discount codes, membership, all of that stuff, that's very high on our priority list to get taken care of. So, Charles, will the booking button have the ability to be injected into the site anywhere we want, or is it only in the bottom right for now? Devin, I think that's a good question for you. I'm not too sure on that.
Right. So right now it is set for just bottom right. In the future, we will allow you to put it anywhere on the website. I think the reason why, or we do give you the ability to anchor in that unique URL. So you can do that well. But yes, that is on the future list to not just have it bottom right.
Yeah, and I see a few people typing some questions in the chat. If you can go ahead and go on over to the Q&A tab here and type your questions, that just kind of helps everything stay organized, and we'll address the questions there. Integration to WordPress, I'm assuming that's a yes, but Devin, can you?
Yeah, so anywhere you can embed the code, we provide you the code and you can embed that, so yes.
Can it be integrated with Groupon Calendar? I believe that's the first time we've had that question. I have no idea what would be required for that, or what the Groupon Calendar is. Leslie, I'd love if you could send me an email with kind of what you're thinking that should behave like in a best case scenario, and we'll take a look to see what would be required for that. Garnett says, if we move a booking to a different station using the edit feature, does it restart their time, including setup time, or do we have to do this manually? Devin, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so what it will do when you move it, it will move it with the time remaining. So when you've actually take them from one station to the other, it won't start it over. It will just whatever's remaining, but you can obviously add any of that free time if you need it.
Yeah, and so it's obviously super easy to extend time here with the complimentary extend or charging them or whatever. Okay, maybe I missed it, but how does this new feature link with Square? It's very easy here on the price management tab here on the the payment methods. Because this is ticked on, it means I've already logged into my Square account and integrated it. All that's required is there's just going to be a button right here, and you sign into your Square account, and it'll link your Square account to Springboard. It's as simple as that.
Okay, so and I will just make sure it's 100% clear. So when you're linking your Square account and providing us the location, the online reservations will be going through your Square account. And then as you could see, Jordan was showing you how you could actually do walk-ins or call-ins. So from the call-ins, we do give you the ability to manually enter a card number as well. But how the integration, what you would do is, say a walk-in comes in and you want to use your Square reader. You actually would proceed with that and then swipe the Square reader, and then you would just confirm the payment on our side.
Okay, let's move on. Let's see. Can we do other point of sale? Simon says, can we do other point of sale merchandise sales via the booking system? Other point of sale merchandise sales. So you're saying you have stuff in the store, like shirts? Is that what you mean, Simon?
And if that is the case currently, it's all around stations. So Jordan, if you'll go ahead and show what that visual looks like on the widget.
Yeah.
So right now you can see number of stations. So that is solely focused on number of stations. But I would love to schedule some time with you, Sam and Simon, to actually understand your business model with the T-shirts and mugs or whatever merchant you actually sell.
Let's see. Okay.
How far down the roadmap are coupon codes? We know that they are very important right now. And so right now, our expectation right now is to get this in as many hands as possible for us to continue to test out phase 1. And then we will be rolling out our next phases thereafter.
Yep. Peter, are there analytics for this system? That is really the big thing that's we're trying to accomplish with this whole feature set. At the moment, no, but that's obviously the big one that we are currently putting together. We want more data. We want you guys to have more data for you to make better decisions on how everything is set up. So that is definitely coming, and it's going to be good. But we're still kind of building out the foundation of what it is right now before we start showing you that data. Once booking is set up on Square, how does this system provide us proof versus people trying to charge back their time or attempting to get a refund from a last-minute cancellation?
Okay, so I'll answer the last-minute cancellation. That's why we have the cancellation policy in your configuration panel. You are telling us what your policy is. So if you set it at 24, and they make a reservation on your website, and they come in and try to cancel, say, 1 hour before their reservation, they will not be able to. They can cancel with a non-refund, so you have that window to actually book again, but you've taken their money. And those funds actually go into your Square account.
Charles, with your user permission settings, can you control who can give out complimentary time? That's a good question. So, I mean, how the user permissions are set up right now is there's just a tab for, do you want to give this person permission to manage the monitor stations page, just the whole thing as it's, as it is. At the moment, we don't have it specific to certain features within the monitor stations page, but that is a really good thought. It's definitely something we can look into. Yeah. So Simon, I think Devin answered your question. You want to sell snacks, drinks. Yeah. So this point of sale integration is just for the reservation of the stations. James says, are you going to add a VIP system? Currently, I have membership cards and track it through Excel, but it would be great if I could integrate it through the booking system. So, yeah, so it's back to the discount code and membership stuff. That is coming. It's high on the priority list. So, it is coming.
And I'll say this, a lot of what I have found is some arcades are doing memberships kind of all different ways. And so what we really are going to be doing in the next phase is spending some time with arcades and understanding so we can create a system that would work for all. And so that is why we are taking some time to make sure we build it right so the system can be worked for all arcades or most arcades and how they work their VIP or even membership strategy.
Okay. Do you have an idea of what payment systems you plan to implement in the future? Ask Charles. So Devin, you want to answer that question?
As I mentioned, the next one will be Stripe. And then we will be looking at others thereafter.
Yeah. So, I mean, we obviously, we want to get that feedback from you guys and just kind of tackle it one by one from the most popular down to the least popular. So we will probably be sending out an email of some sorts to everybody saying, hey, if you don't use Square, what do you use? Take a poll. And then we're like, okay, it's this one. Let's go integrate it with that. And that's just kind of how we'll make decisions on future point of sale integrations. Do you guys, Jeffrey says, do you guys have membership cards on Springboard and upcoming patches? That's a tough one. I would say probably not. We will definitely have the membership integration type of stuff. For instance, like because you'll be able to start tracking individual customer information. There will be features added stuff, such like punch cards. So, your fifth time free or whatever, how, there'll be stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know if that really answers your question. I think there's a few different things we can do with that. I'd love to hear what are you thinking as far as best case scenario? What could Springboard do that would help you guys? But
so I'll take the next one, Simon, regarding the analytics question. Right now, we currently don't have any reporting right now. That is going to be very soon in like a 1.1 version, but right now you can actually access some of the data from going to the calendar right now, but we do have some big plans for the analytics, as what Jordan mentioned. Right now, we don't have any reporting currently on our booking system currently in this closed beta feature.
Kevin asks, just to clarify, there's no support for different types of stations. For example, stations with different devices. So we are working actively on Oculus integration and getting Springboard to work with the Rift properly. At the moment, it kind of works, but it's not the greatest. I don't know. We don't have any plans beyond the Rift for integration of Springboard at this time. So PSVR or HoloLens or whatever. At this point, it'll be Springboard. Vive, obviously, and then looking to hopefully have a good solution for Oculus sometime soon. Rick, does the name of the station appear on the booking? Example, I have 3 stations. One is called Race Room, one is called Holodeck, and one is called Flight Deck. So my customers can book the room based on experience they want.
Okay, so right now, if you go to the widget right now, they are currently just telling us the number of stations. So they aren't picking the station themselves. And so currently they are just telling us the number of stations that they would like to book.
But you know, this kind of goes hand in hand with Charles' questions at the beginning. You know, do you have premium booths or whatever, standing room only versus room scale? And so yes, there will be some solution like that for you. That kind of goes hand in hand with the premium stations or whatever. So yeah, we're thinking about it for sure. Yeah. May I change the name Station 1 to HTC and Station 2 to PS4 VR at the booking system? So this is, I don't fully have my head wrapped around the correct answer completely to this station, because I think someone has asked us, hey, I know Springboard doesn't work with PlayStation VR, but can I still allow it to be booked on this booking system? And I don't know. Devin, do you know how to answer that question properly?
So I would say we haven't fully tested it. And so currently right now it is a true integration with our, launcher that supports the Vive currently right now. So what I would like to do is kind of spend some time with you in understanding exactly how you would like to see that work. And we can kind of put some testing in place or even put it on the product roadmap.
Yeah, Kevin. So yeah, I think I answered your question as far as different devices and different experiences. There will be in the future some way to differentiate for your customers to know whether or not they're buying a premium booth or a normal booth or whatever. Yes. So, yeah, I see what you're saying, Sergio. Yeah, I think, yeah, we understand your question. I think we need to get with you and some other folks who kind of in that situation and just make sure we have our head fully wrapped around what your needs are and how we can potentially integrate something that works. Okay. Is that all the questions? Oh, yes, beta. How do you get a part of beta? Great question, Brendan. So still happy to answer any more questions that you all have. But if that concludes the questions, the way you get to be a part of this is you go ahead and just send us an email to support@springboardvr.com. Let us know you want it, and yeah, we'll talk to you from there. So kind of how we want to roll this out is we want to first roll it out to the folks that everything fits and it works. So memberships or discount codes aren't required for you to use this. You have Square, those sorts of things. And then as we kind of continue to build on the feature, we'll roll it out to some more folks who it'll be more useful at later points down the road. But go ahead and send us that email, support@springboardvr.com. Let us know you want access to the closed beta, and we'll talk to you from there.
Okay, I think there's one question in chat that we might not have gotten to it. Craig, if multiple stations are reserved by a customer, can they be charged in one transaction? And it is one transaction. So if someone comes in and does 3 people for 3 stations, then it's going to send one transaction, one payment, and then one receipt confirmation to the person that made the reservation. Okay.
Cool. Well, guys, thanks for joining. Very excited to roll this out to you all. And feel free, as always, we want your feedback. We've built Springboard based on everybody's feedback, and we want to continue to do that. We never want to just assume we know what we're doing. So please be open with us. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions at all, always feel free to reach out. Hunter is our tech guy. I'm sure a lot of you all have interacted with him. But anyway, thanks all for your time. If you have any more questions or you want access to beta, again, support at SpringboardVR.com. And hope to catch you all in another webcast sometime in the future. Talk to you all later.
Thank you.